You're listening to Heroes in the Moment.
What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today we're doing our weekly recap number 38.
We got a lot of good stuff
We
today.
got a lot of news today.
Stuff.
We got a lot of good ones, a lot of cool ones, and a lot of interesting stuff along the journey we're going through. So we got DCU news we'll start off with, and then we'll go to MCU news. We got Sony Marvel news. We also got Star Wars news. So a little bit of everything today. So we're excited to get into that. So to break into DCU first off, this is the big one, right? This is the big cake. Everybody's been talking about it this past week. That being the Superman Legacy casting rumors. And these are very thick and very good, actually, in my opinion.
I was very pleasantly surprised. I really was.
I was like, okay, James Gunn, I applaud you if this is right.
I see what you're doing, really.
If it's right, I applaud you. The first one being David Corenswet as Superman.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He looks the part.
He looks just like Superman.
Yeah, I'm not saying he looks like Henry Cavill.
He does.
But he does in a little sense. But that's not why. Like, he's
29. He's young. He's right
young.
perfect.
He looks like what Superman would look like.
He does. He looks like that guy, you'd look up to. And,
he has that classic
and
look.
enjoy.
And like Gunn said, someone that you'd want to hug.
Yeah, exactly. And he's that guy. And even though he does kind of look a lot like Henry Cavill in a lot of ways, he also both of them look like the character of Superman. So I'm not opposed to this casting. I mean, if he's a good actor and he's capable, he looks the role, I'd say all for it.
Go ahead, man.
That would be a good one. Yeah. Next one is also one I really like, and that being Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
I know, dude.
I love that.
So for so long, I feel like Nicholas Hoult has just been so slept on as an actor.
He's a great actor.
He's been in huge roles, like, X-Men and recently Renfield and stuff like that. But the man is a beast. And I really feel like he's going to show off his acting chops as Lex Luthor.
He would be a great Lex Luthor. I know he originally had the opportunity to be Batman in Robert Pattinson's universe, but he ended up turning, or I don't know if he just didn't get it.
That, and then he had another role.
He's supposed to be in Top Gun Maverick.
And then Miles.
He was supposed to be Rooster.
Ended up with it.
He also was supposed to be the villain in the next Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning movie,
really?
the new one.
Oh yeah,
he was supposed to be the villain.
That trailer looked hyped,
but he turned that or. Either they went up to another person or something.
He was like filming something with Hulu and had to miss it. So.
Yes. So that stinks for him.
He's
but
a beast.
Lex Luthor would be an incredible fit for him. I love Nicholas Hoult, and I think he'd be a good fit for that role.
I'm trying to imagine him bald.
I can.
I can see
I
it.
think I can.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
All right, next up, we got two specific in the running for Lois Lane, being Emma Mackey or Phoebe Denever. I don't know how.
I'm not sure how to say it either.
Anyway, both of them look like they could be Lois Lane.
Both actresses, they look great.
Yeah, I've never seen them before, either of them.
Me neither.
But they look like they could be a Lois Lane type character. They've got the brown, or black hair, and they just look like the reporter type.
Yeah, that formal, corporate type.
Right. So I like it. I think whichever one, they need to pair them up with David Corenswet, see if they have good chemistry. Yeah. Because if they don't, then obviously we wouldn't want it. So,
they hate each other.
Yeah, we got to have good chemistry there. So overall, though, I really like these castings, and these castings sound pretty legitimate. And I hope honestly that they are true and they are revealed coming up this year, because they are great castings. So hats off to James Gunn if these are true.
It just gives me more and more hope for what he's doing. So,
definitely.
Man.
Also, more news with Superman Legacy is there's news running rampant about who the main villain is going to be. Obviously, Lex Luthor's going to be in it, but he's not the main villain.
Yeah, it's too early.
It's too early. But they're looking at possibly Apex may be the main villain. Which Apex is not a huge character in the comics.
To be honest, I've never heard of Apex before.
So Apex is kind of like a variant version of like if Lex Luthor was Superman. So essentially, it's kind of like that. But I think they're going to change it up to where he's going to be like, I think they're looking at African Americans for this role, and they're going to make him like just kind of another powerful character to kind of go against. So that's interesting. But they're also looking at some other villains to maybe involved. I don't know if it's more in the main capacity or as in like a more side role, being Lobo and Crush and Toyman as well. To maybe possibly be in this movie.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good idea. Like we said, you can't go all out on your first film.
Right.
And like you said, they're going to include other side villains along with it. And I think that's a really good idea because, this is the first movie of the DCU. So you have to be able to not only tell your story, but to kind of expand this world that you're started in, right? So, I mean, I know there's also a report that James Gunn is also going to include like some, side heroes.
Yeah, there's confirmed that there's going to be it's going to be filled with other DC characters and references. So.
Well, I mean, which is great. I mean, typically you think about, the first superhero movie, of a franchise. What was that, like an Iron Man or a Hulk
Man.
or something?
Yeah,
Like it was pretty limited to just that character and his guys.
I think that's interesting because we know he's going for a great big universe of DCU, all being interconnected this time. So the inclusion of different DCU characters or references really just goes to show how it is all connected. And I appreciate that because that's what a lot of the DCEU was missing. So I appreciate that. I don't want it to be like full fan service necessarily, but I wouldn't be opposed to, this cameo here, this cameo there.
Well,
either.
see, if it was full fan service, then we wouldn't be getting Apex as a villain, or like Toy Maker, right?
Right.
I think those are, good choices off the bat.
Right. And I think Lobo would be an incredible main villain. So I don't know if if they're just going to introduce him here and he's going to be the second one or something like that. I think that would be interesting to explore his character because he's also going to be an anti-hero as well. So we'll see how that goes. But that pretty much wraps up the DCU news. So Superman Legacy, definitely my hopes for it has peaked a little bit more.
I know.
It's gone up.
I'm very excited. And then after seeing how good Guardians 3 was,
Right.
I'm like, holy crap, James Gunn, just keep on going,
Just
dude.
keep going with the writing and directing style. Let's see if you can do Superman Legacy justice with this big of a character. All right, next up, we'll make the pivot over to one brief Star Wars news, and that being a theory we were going over a couple of weeks ago of a discussion of what Dave Filoni's movie is titled, and it got its confirmed title. It will be Star Wars Heir to the Empire.
Heir to
which
the
is
Empire.
Great title.
Okay.
And great title. I mean, this is widely imagined, the Heir to the Empire is widely imagined to be the original sequel trilogy after Return of the Jedi because the books came out in the 90s before Phantom Menace and all this stuff. And
Really? They come out in between
yes,
the trilogy?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people really looked at this and saw Thrawn as such a cool character. And I'm really excited they're going to flesh him out, this main Thanos kind of level villain.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool to kind of flesh out the Mandoverse in this sense through the Heir of the Empire. So I like that.
I'm glad that they're concluding it with a movie.
They are. I mean, that's a good move. I mean, I'm assuming it'll be Pedro Pascal and Rosario Dawson as your two like top dogs for this movie. Yeah. That's what I would assume. Because it's got to be Ahsoka and Mando. I mean, they're the two main ones.
Yeah,
so
they got to do it.
Got to be it. So who knows? It'll probably end up being Ahsoka just because that's always been the focal point of Dave Filoni's universe.
Yeah.
Which I'd be okay with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Shifting over to MCU news, we got several today MCU wise.
Okay.
And Marvel came out and released two release dates for two shows that are coming later this year. One of which was expected, one of which not so expected, being Loki season 2. Expected coming October 6th.
October 6th. All right.
Very
That's
good.
going to be really good. Yeah.
It's going to be good. Weekly. And then something I thought was going to be pushed back to next year, but actually is going to come out next year is all episodes of Echo are dropping on November 29th. What do you think?
I think, Michael, this is extremely interesting. So we haven't seen this before from a Marvel show,
we have
right?
not.
I think this spells either one of two things. Either one, and I think it's most likely that they know this show sucks and they just want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just get it out there.
Yes.
Or two, maybe they're taking a lesser known character like Echo and they're experimenting with all at once. Like, hey, if we take this character who isn't as well loved,
right,
and we drop all at once and we see an increase in numbers, will it do better?
That's true. I think it's probably I completely agree. I think it's absolutely atrocious and they're just kind of get rid of it. But I don't actually think it's going to be that bad.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, Charlie Cox is going to be in
Charlie
it.
Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Yeah, so I think it's more likely they're experimenting to see how the binge worthy they would do.
Yeah.
Like maybe they watched it and they're like, this would fit better as a binge. Maybe they're thinking, like you said, maybe the numbers will go up. Maybe our shows need to be binged instead of drop weekly. And just kind of see that because, like we said, they're experimenting. They're trying new things and new genres. So I'd be interested in that. So maybe it's going to be better than we think, or maybe it's horrible.
Honestly, I do think it'll be better. I mean, I haven't heard anything that makes me want to dislike it as far as who's directing it and who's writing
Except it's just a super nonchalant character we don't really care
as
about.
far as a pod go, I mean, I would obviously want to drop it once, right? So we can just watch it all in a week. Exactly, instead of just doing it 2 months. But.
Right. Also, it got its first plot synopsis, which I'll read for you guys as well for Echo, being the new series tells the origin story of Maya Lopez, whose ruthless behavior in New York City catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community if she ever hopes to move forward. It sounds so basic to me.
I know. It's
to be honest.
connect with your past.
I know.
Show your past.
I also don't like the idea of going to
are.
our hometown. I wish they would just stay in New York.
Yeah.
Like, just don't go to the hometown.
And I'm a little confused on how this fits into the future of the MCU.
Yeah,
I
don't see it at all.
What's her place?
I know, because she's a very minor character. I see her popping up in certain places, but not in her own project.
I'm still advocate that this show shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I very much. I mean, there's so many other characters that could be explored better through a show or a movie or something or a special presentation. But
I agree.
It's besides Echo.
I know. I never even heard of Echo until the Hawkeye. Well,
I knew.
No.
Echo,
I played her in the Lego game. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah. All she has like a sword and stuff. But
yeah, she has like the white markings.
I don't know.
On her face.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be a sleeper. But it's basic plot to me, and dropping all episodes. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay.
All right. Next up is that. It has been reported that, obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 post-credit scene did give us this kind of, it felt more like a confirmation, but this is apparently in the works. A legendary Star-Lord solo project is effectively in the works.
That's great.
Which is great news. It needs to be a movie, in my opinion.
Obviously, yeah.
Has to be a movie. Chris Pratt.
So, yeah, but it ain't going to be James Gunn.
No, it's not going to be James Gunn. It doesn't have to be James Gunn, though. Yeah. It's not Guardians. It's Star-Lord.
It's not Guardians. So, it's going to be weird. See, I wonder who they would get to do that. And I wonder what they would focus on. Would it be more comedic? I would assume it'd be more serious.
I think it would have to be more serious. More of a serious level.
Probably like Peter maybe dealing with some of his childhood trauma.
Right. Will take place on Earth, space. I'm assuming space.
Yeah. Anyway, if it was a huge threat, how would he deal with it by himself? I mean, he's just a dude with...
He did have celestial powers, but
I know. And I love the fact that you just thought he was a regular old dude, but dude was invincible for the entire first movie. I think that's cool
too, though. It's like give him, maybe not a world-ending threat, but give him something that is threatening to his own person, something that's connected to his past, something that's along those lines and elements. I think would be cool, and play it like a western. It needs to be like a western space movie, and I think that would work really well. I don't know who else would be in it. I don't know if maybe Rocket would be in it as an appearance or who else, but
not like a couple cameos, but some little side roles, maybe Nebula.
Possibly just to maybe get help. I don't know. We'll see, but it is apparently in the works, which I think is a W. I mean, obviously it had to be from what the end credits was, because otherwise it would just said Star-Lord return, not the legendary Star-Lord would return. So
and it's Chris Pratt, he's a money maker.
Yes.
He's a beast right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, next piece of news is a rather interesting one, which I was not expecting to talk about ever, being WWE star Seth Rollins is going to be in Captain America New World Order. I never thought I would say that.
Where should we pull our actors from? Dude, I got a good idea. The WWE, where talent is made.
The only three actors that really made it big from WWE are obviously John Cena, The Rock, and Dave Bautista. So,
which The Rock is, in my opinion, not that good. John Cena is a little better, and I think Dave Bautista is obviously the best.
I love The Rock, though. You can't help but
he's funny.
So charismatic.
He plays the same role in every movie.
He does, but I can't help but watch his movies. I just love that guy, man.
They're good. I like him too. But man, I don't know, man.
Seth Rollins is trying to dip his toe in the realm.
Well, honestly, man, I mean, if this was a smaller project, I think this would make sense. Okay, they're pulling some celebs, they're trying to garner some interest. Right. But I mean, the interest of this movie is really high, and they have a ton of people confirmed. So why do they feel the need to?
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's big in the WWE world, but when it comes to Seth Rollins, I feel like when I'm watching this movie and I see him, I'm not going to feel like it's SNL cameo. I'm more going to see him as he's a character in this movie, and he's going to be playing a member of the Serpent Society, Diamondback specifically.
He's playing Diamondback.
He is. So I mean, maybe that'd be interesting. I'm assuming his role will be very minimal. But it's still cool nonetheless to see that they're doing the Serpent Society and they're having Seth Rollins.
Dude, what if as Diamondback he pulled out a slick WWE
pulls out chairs,
pulls out this chair? Yes. I'm like, bro, I've seen this movie before.
That's so funny, man. Drax shows up and then John Cena shows up. It's just the multiverse of WWE,
and then the Rocket just comes out of the ground, dude.
He emerges from the tomb. That's funny. All right, next up is some more Deadpool 3 news we've been talking about the last couple of weeks as well. And apparently everyone from the previous Deadpool movies will be returning because it was confirmed this week that Supersonic Teenage Warhead will be in this movie along with her friend from the other movie, Deadpool 2, right?
I forget her name. It's been a while, dude.
Kimiko, something like that, I think. Because Deadpool kept waving at her saying, hi! And she's like, hi, Wade. I can't remember. But anyway, Peter's coming back. Vanessa's coming back. Colossus coming back. Everybody, man. Back. I'm like, I was really surprised because I was like, I know. It's supposed to be MCU.
I was too, but I mean, they're just further hammering home that, this is now connected.
Right.
I'm curious to see how it all fit. I mean, dude,
I know.
They're probably going to get 3-4 minutes of screen time.
And
That's what I gotta guess.
It's definitely going to be a comedy. So how are they going to run?
I don't know. But it's gonna be rated R too. So it's gonna be like on one half just jokes, and the other half with Deadpool just ripping people apart with Logan. So I'm excited, man.
This movie's gonna be great.
This might be my favorite, like my most hyped MCU movie.
It's for sure gonna make $1 billion easily.
Easily. No,
maybe 2. I don't know.
Maybe 2. Maybe
it's not gonna get to like Avatar Endgame level. But
I will say I do think like the whole hype around who's in this movie is kind of like No Way Home.
It is.
Like I mean, it's just nostalgia.
It
really,
is. It's really. It's also Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, Wolverine.
I know. Like for the last time,
even if you just had them two, this movie would still easily make $1 billion. So we'll see.
It's gonna be so good.
It's not Deadpool's last time though, but Wolverine is Hugh Jackman.
But Hugh Jackman.
Very true. All right. Next up is Daveed Diggs. Actually, has been rumored to be, and more Fantastic Four news is rumored to be the Thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I really don't.
Is he Jewish?
He might be. I don't know.
I mean, I saw
they were
that,
supposed to be looking for Jewish actors.
They were looking for Jewish actors.
I like Daveed Diggs. Don't get me wrong. I think he was incredible. I love him in Hamilton. He plays a great Lafayette and Jefferson. And then also I'm excited to see him as Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, the upcoming. But
he plays Sebastian.
He does. He will be Sebastian, which is great. And I like him. But as the Thing, I just don't see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
To be honest, dude, it's been a while since I've seen him in performance. I'm sure he could do it, but I mean, if he fits, their qualifications, if he's Jewish, and I don't know if he could.
It's just he doesn't fit that, like we say, everyday blue collar working dude that would be Ben Grimm to be the Thing. I mean, if we're thinking about this and what we've heard, it sounds like the cast is going to be Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, Paul Mescal, and then now Daveed Diggs. I mean, that's stacked, but at the same time, it's like, does Daveed Diggs fit with that realm? Does some of these other characters fit? Are they just getting A-list to get A-list, or are they getting? Do they actually fit?
Yeah, I looked it up. It said he was Jewish. So
is he? Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, I wouldn't be disappointed in this, but like I said, I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't really matter in my opinion if you race swap the Thing.
No, not at all.
He's Rock.
Yes, I don't mind, but I just want to see, like, can he play it?
I think he could. He has range, man.
He does, but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. All right, Sony Marvel. Now we're going to be talking about for just a second, and that being our main dude, the High Evolutionary, and also Mern from Peacemaker.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce.
Dude, I can't say his name.
Chiwetel. I can't. I better.
We just need to look it up in an interview.
I know we
sometime.
probably do. And he has joined the cast for Venom 3. What do you think?
I think
villain or what? Or?
He has to be a villain, dude.
But then the villain they was teased in Venom 2 was supposed to be what was it? Who was it supposed to be? Screecher or something like that? I can't remember. But
that subplot was weird.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I wasn't feeling that. Anyway, man, like after seeing the second Venom, I'm not too hyped for this movie, but I think he's a phenomenal actor. James Gunn said he was the best actor he's ever worked with.
I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, we saw that in High Evolutionary. So.
So we know he can play that intimidating villain role, as long as, as well as, just a regular dude as in Peacemaker. So I think it bodes good news. I think more important, like, dude, who's directing this movie, man?
Yeah, that's the question.
I mean, Sony.
Are they going to make a radar?
Probably, but Sony, they just put out just mid action movies after action movie. Really, besides Bullet Train, but all their Sony Marvel stuff is just.
I like Venom 1. I'll give it that a pass. Yeah, that Venom 1's okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's like 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would say so.
But then, like, you have Let There Be Carnage and then Morbius, which are dog crap.
My goodness, come on, man.
All right, now it's time for one of our favorite parts of our podcast to move on to who's going to win in the fight. With my Matt Reeves Batman helmet, got just 2 rounds today, because once we do our 2 rounds, this will fill our bracket.
Okay.
And then we'll start breaking down our brackets and to see who will win overall. And then we'll refill my Matt Reeves Batman helmet.
Okay.
All right.
With the winners.
With the previous. We'll see how it goes. All right. So I'll take the first draw of the day. Got my card.
All right.
And then you
How many are in here? 4?
Several. Lots.
We're just doing 2, though?
Yeah. We'll 2 rounds. So this is the first round.
Okay.
All right. So I got Nightwing.
Dude, listen, I got Black Panther.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah,
this is a really good one, actually. Nightwing's trained right under Batman. Yeah. He's now his own superhero. He's not Robin anymore.
He's a prodigy.
He's his own thing. He's Prime.
An incredible gymnast.
Incredible acrobatic abilities.
He's like up there with Spider-Man.
He also has incredible hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Black Panther, he's enhanced power. He has a suit made of vibranium.
Well, I think this really depends on if Black Panther has a suit, because this is.
I don't think it even does on that.
What?
To be honest,
How?
I think Nightwing wins.
I do. I think
There's
Nightwing ends pretty easily.
I don't think there's a universe in which I mean, listen, like he has a vibranium suit.
He does, but Nightwing is smarter. He will use anything in his might to get through that. Yeah.
Black Panther is a superhuman.
Right, but Nightwing is trained right underneath Batman and also now
I know, but he doesn't have the resources that Black Panther does. And he doesn't have the resources.
He does have a lot of
Batman
resources. I mean,
does.
he's not as rich as Black Panther, but Nightwing does have a lot of resources as well. You forget about Nightwing.
Listen, man, I'm not dissing on Nightwing, and I know he's up there with Batman, but how do you beat a vibranium suit that just stays on?
Well, I mean, you think back to the first Black Panther movie. I mean, you sound waves, you do what else you do.
Yeah, but that was only in Wakanda. I assume this battle would be on a neutral ground with his suit.
Could be Wakanda, could be somewhere else, could be somewhere.
Nightwing's better hand to hand, but if you're talking about personally who's smarter, faster, and stronger, I think it's Black Panther. I think he is stronger
and he is obviously faster, but Nightwing has just got the mindset and the ability to really win this. I really think so.
You think so? So you're saying with prep time, then is what you're saying?
With prep time, yeah. Without prep, it would go to Black Panther.
I really, dude, honestly, if you have a vibranium suit, I really believe you can beat anybody. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, there's just no. I mean, Black Panther doesn't have a kryptonite weakness, and even if he did, we don't even know if Nightwing could secure such a resource.
Nightwing, if he was to get vibranium pierces vibranium, so he could.
But see, that's a hypothetical.
That is.
As far as we know, he just has his batons.
But the same argument would be used for Batman as well, because Batman would find a way with prep.
Yeah. So we're saying with prep, but...
With prep, I think
with
Nightwing.
I feel like we should flip a coin, because I can't agree on that.
I can flip a coin.
I flip a coin. I'll be heads this time.
You want to be heads? All right.
I'll be heads.
All right, let's see. Let me Google it. Flip a coin. All right.
That's pretty tough.
Preparing to flip. It is tails.
Tails, all right.
Tails.
We're going
Nightwing. So Nightwing takes it. I really do think. I mean,
really, I
just forget about Nightwing sometimes.
No, I'm not. I've been playing Arkham Knight, and you get to play as Nightwing for those Penguin missions, and those are fire. But yeah, I mean, realistically, like, how can he pierce his suit? I just don't see it.
I think if he uses sound waves and something,
and he's not a superhuman. So.
Yeah, but Nightwing's pretty awesome.
I know he is. I do like the character a lot.
All right, next round. Who we got?
Dick Grayson.
Who we got?
I'll say first. I have go for it. War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I have Raven.
I feel like this one's pretty easy.
This one goes to Raven.
Raven, unfortunately, is clapping my boy Don Cheadle.
I love Don Cheadle. I love Rhodey. War Machine, you're great. But Raven, I mean, she literally has like the powers of like the demons of the underground.
What's his face? Like Trigon?
She's like, Trigon. And she's got like Scarlet Witch level abilities some cases and all that dark magic that she's able to do.
I mean, and even, if War Machine, like, I don't know, flew up into the air and dropped the nuke, I'm sure she would be able to respond. Yeah, or put in another dimension.
Yeah, so I think definitely goes to Raven there. So that fills up the bracket. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Around there, let me fill in. Let's see, Nightwing.
And Raven.
And then also Raven as our winners. And then next week we'll start the bracket. We'll go through the first rounds and see who is likely to win the next part. All right. So that pretty much wraps it up.
All right, guys. If you've enjoyed this episode, let us know by giving us a review and a download. Our podcast, Here's in the Moment, is available on all major podcast platforms. So check it out. Speaking of checking it out, we have a huge library. All our recent movie reviews, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and others. Our show and season reviews, like Bad Batch and all that good stuff. It's out. So go ahead. Like I said before, if you got some time in your day, you got a long drive, we got you, all right?
For sure.
If you want to stay up to date with all of our news, announcements, updates, check out our socials. We have an Instagram at Here's in the Moment and a TikTok, Here's in the Moment with an extra T.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening. And as always, we love you 3000.